Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by today. And if this is your first time on this channel, my name is Grace, and on this channel I share sewing tutorials and DIYs. In today's tutorial we are going to be making this very nice simple gown. It's a corporate gown, so to say, and I got the inspiration from Prudential Atelier. So we are going to be making this dress in this video, and although I modified mine a little in front, which made it different from the original copy, but then the ideas behind the two dresses are the same. So if this is something that you are interested in, then let's get into the video and start learning. So these are the materials that I'm going to be needing to cut out my dress. So I have a crepe fabric here. This pink fabric is a crepe fabric, and it's just on one trouser. If you're on a bigger size, you can use more than that. This black fabric is also crepe, and I have my scissors, my tape rule, my ruler, and my chalk. I'm also going to be needing my a pattern paper at a point when I'm cutting out this dress. So these are the things that I need to cut out this dress. So let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to fold my fabric into two like this in order to cut out my front part, and I'll take the measurements and make sure that it's enough to accommodate the biggest measurement in my body, which is my hip measurement, and some inches for allowance. So I'm going to be taking off half an inch from the top of that, so that that line is going to serve as my shoulder line. And from that line I'm going to take the measurements of the full material that I have here, to be sure that I have something that is okay for the full length of my dress. Then from that shoulder line I'll go ahead and take the rest vertical measurement. So I'm taking my chest line at 8 inches. To get your own chest line, divide your bust measurement by 6 and add about 1.5 or 2 inches to that. So after that I'm going to be taking my bust point measurement, and my bust point measurement is at 10 inches. So I'm going to mark that and also draw a straight line across, as you can see me doing it in the video. The next thing that I'm going to mark is my waistline. My waistline is at 16 inches, and I'm marking it over there like that, and I'll also go across it with a straight line. And also I'm going to be taking my hip line measurement at 24 inches. All you have to do to get this is to measure from your shoulder down to your hip area, the widest part of your hip area. Now on this shoulder line I'll be dividing my shoulder measurement by 2, and I'm going to place it. My own shoulder measurement is 16 inches. That divided by 2 is 8 inches. I'm going to place that 8 inches on my chest line also, and I'll connect the 2 points that I have. On my chest line I'm going to be using 3 by about 4 inches. I want it to be just 4 inches deep, and I'll connect it with my free hand like that. Also I'm going to do my shoulder slants by coming down by 1 inch on that straight line and connecting it to the neckline. So on this line I'm going to divide whatever I have here into 2 and mark it over there, come in by about half an inch, and I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4, and I'm going to add 2 inches to that, and I will connect my armhole curve together like that with my free hand. All these things that I'm doing, you can use your curved rule to do it, but I'm just using my free hand. On my waistline I'll divide my waist measurement by 4, and I'm going to add 2 inches to that, and I'm going to be placing my hip measurement divided by 4, and I also added 2 inches to that. So I'm just curving it up to make it look really nice. So on the hem of the dress too, I'm going to be placing my hip measurement divided by 4, and I'll take off about 1 inch from that. Then I'll connect those lines together. So this is what the front pattern looks like. So the next thing that I'm going to do now is just to go ahead and cut this pattern of mine out. So I'm going to cut it out directly. I already had allowances for both ease and sewing allowance. So this is a very stretchy fabric. You don't even need to add up to 2 inches allowance like the way that I did. So on this shoulder line I will come up by about half an inch from the line, so that I will have something to join my shoulder together and I will not be short of fabric. So this is basically all for the front parts of this dress. So I'll go ahead now and draft the back part of this dress. So to do this, I'm going to bring another fabric that is a little bit wider than the one we used in the front. So I'm going to place my front pattern on it folded like this, and I'm going to create space for zipper allowance at the middle. So I'm going to be using about 1.5 inches allowance on the middle part to create the zipper allowance. So I'm just measuring what I have over there, and it's about 1.5 inches. So I'm just adjusting this to make it look really nice. So after pinning it down, to secure it properly, I'm going to be taking what I want as the measurement of the back neckline, because I don't want it to be the same as the front. So I'm just taking a kind of deeper neckline for the back. So instead of 4 inches that I have in front, I'm making the back about 6 or 7 inches so that it will be a little bit deeper. Then I connect it to the neckline and also to the zipper allowance. So I went ahead to pin that side back again, and I'll go ahead and cut this out. So I don't have much to do at the back. I'm just going to cut this dress out. So I'm just cutting it out. I'll go ahead and also cut the shoulder area and the neck area, which is like the most important. I'm taking off my pins on that side to make it easier. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out. So I'm going to be slitting the back part, because that's where the zipper is going to be. I'm going to slit it out to create the space for where the zipper is going to sit at the back. So when I'm done doing this, basically I'm done with both the front and the back part. So the next thing now is to get the shape of whatever you want to put in front. So to get the shape of that black material in front, I brought a pattern paper, and I'm going to be placing my front part of this dress on the pattern paper. I'm going to be pinning it down on the pattern paper like this. So I went ahead to pin down my front parts of the dress properly on this pattern paper, making sure it aligns very well at the middle and the side. Then I'll go ahead now and cut the shape of the dress out on the pattern paper, because I feel it's too long, so I just take off that side. So I'm just going to be trimming this out just the way the front pattern is. So just go ahead and trim it out, so you have the front part of your dress replaced on the pattern paper. So I'm just taking off the pins. Then when I was done, this is what the pattern looks like, the pattern paper looks like. So I'm going to take the measurements of where I want whatever I'm going to put in front to stop, and I want mine to stop at 22 inches. So I'll mark that 22 inches, and from that 22 inches I'm going to go ahead and mark about 9 inches to the side. If you want your horn to be very close to the middle, you can use up to like 10 inches. Just make it very close to the middle. So on this line of the shoulder slope, I'm going to be taking the same measurement that I have left in the middle, and I'll connect those two lines together. So as you can see, we have two lines coming from the top and the down. Now from that line on the top, come down by 3 inches, and from the one at the down, come up by 3 inches. Then use your straight ruler to connect to the top and also to the down in a slanty manner. Note that I'm doing this because this is how I want my own. If you want your own differently, you can actually go ahead and do the pattern the way you want it on your pattern paper. So I'll go ahead and cut this out like this. So whatever I cut out here is going to be what I'm going to use to cut out my black crepe material that I'm going to use for the front design. So this is how mine looks like, and when I open up the remaining pattern paper, this is what it looks like. Can you see that I still have a lot of space in the middle? Now I'll go ahead and use that pattern that I cut out to cut out my black fabric. So I'm just placing it on it, and I'll go ahead and cut it out, leaving about half an inch spaces around it, just the way you see me doing it, so that it is going to be very easy to fold. So when I was done and I placed it on my dress, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to be cutting out my sleeve. It's going to be a short sleeve because this is even what I have left on my fabric. So I'm just cutting out a short sleeve pattern, and yeah, that's what I'm going to be using for this dress. Also, for the front part of the dress, I'm going to be cutting a turning so that I'll be able to use it to turn the neck of the front. So I'm just using the fabric that is left to cut out a turning so that the front part is going to look really nice. So this is what my turning looks like when I was done cutting it. Now let's start sewing. So the first thing that I'm going to do now is to place my turning on the front. I'm going to place it right sides facing each other. Then I'm going to sew around the neck. And for the back, I'm going to be making use of this bias because I'm already short of fabric and I just have to make use of something to do the turning. So I'm going to be using the bias to turn the neck of the back. When I was done, this is what the bias looks like. And for the front too, when I was done, this is what I have. So I ironed it down really nice and okay. So for the patterns that are going to be in front for the black material, I'll go ahead and fold them in, and I'll use my iron to hold down the folds that I'm doing. So I'm just folding them in with about half an inch on all sides. So I'm going to be folding down all the sides, and I'll use my hot iron to press them down so that they will stay. So when I was done, this is what I have. So it's only on the parts that will be joined at the side that I didn't do that folding. Now it's time to place it on the main fabric. Now I'm going to put my front part here, and I'm going to just place them the way they are supposed to be on each side. So this is for one side. I'm going to also place for the other side. I also used office pins to secure those edges so that they won't be an issue when we are joining this together. So from the side of the dress here, I'm going to be taking that 3 inches down that we took earlier when we were drafting this design out. So I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other side. So this is just so that we know where this is going to start. So when we know where it's going to start, we don't have problem with where it will stop. So I'm going to be making use of this hemming gum to join this design to the front part of the dress. So I'm just going to be placing the hemming gum in between like this carefully and in a manner that follows the pattern already cut, and I'm going to be using my iron. So I'm making use of my stove iron in this video because we don't have light in my area for now, and this has been saving my life actually. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure the stove iron is hot, and I'll go ahead and repeat the same processes over and over again, putting my hemming gun in between the design and the main fabric, then ironing it together. So when I was done doing that all the way for the first one, this is what I have, and I will also go ahead and do the same thing on the second side. So as you can see, this is what it looks like when I was done doing that. What is left now is just to sew around these corners to make it stay very well. Now for the back part, I'm going to go ahead and join my zip, but because I don't want to have this zippers bulge at the back, I'll be making use of this hard gum stay at this back for the zipper area. So I'll go ahead, I cut out these pieces, 2 pieces. I'm going to be using one for each side, so I'm just going to be placing it on each side of the back. I'll use my iron to do that also. When I was done doing it, this is what I have. So just measure out about 3 inches of this and place it on both sides. Then I'll go ahead and fix my zip to the back part of this dress just the way we fix zip normally. So I'm using an invisible zip, and after I was done, this is what it looks like. Then to avoid that bulging, I'm going to be opening up this paper. I'm going to be opening up these papers, and I'll trim out all the remaining excesses, because I'm not going to be needing them, and they are going to be causing a lot of bulges if I leave them there. So I'm just going to be trimming them out like this, on both sides. After doing these ones on this side, I'll do the other ones on the other side too. And when you are trimming this off, make sure that you are very careful so that you don't mistakenly cut your clothes. So once you are done doing it, you have just this piece here, and this is what it will look like. This is never going to have a zipper bulge. So the next thing now is to join the front and the back together. I'm going to first join it together on the shoulder, and I'll also go ahead and use my measurements to join it on the sides, as you can see, like this. So when I was done joining it and I turned it to the right side, this is what I have here. And the next thing now is to add the sleeve. So I already taped this sleeve at the edges. I'm going to go ahead, take the measurement of what I have on my round arm hole, and I'm going to place it on my sleeve and join them together accordingly. So I'm going to be doing that off the camera, and I'm going to join my sleeve accordingly. So after joining the sleeves, this is what my dress looks like. Can you see? We are done with the dress. What this dress needs now is a very good press, a very good ironing, and it's going to come out really nice. So the last thing is to place these cover buttons. I got these cover buttons to place on it, on the middle part like this, and also at the sleeve area. So yours can be more than this depending on what you want. So I'll use my needle and thread to tack it together. So this is the final outcome of the dress after ironing and putting it on. Can you see how nice this turned out to be? So if you want something different on your front side, you are going to decide that when you are using your pattern paper to create the designs. If you find this tutorial helpful, kindly give it a thumbs up. Don't also forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell so that when I drop helpful tutorials like this, you are going to be the first person to be notified. Thank you very much for watching. See you in my next tutorial.